CD Valet is a deposit marketplace built to serve the 30+ million consumers that invest in certificates of deposits, or CDs. Savvy savers, over 4 million of them, come to CD Valet's website today because it has the best rates. Right now, that data on site is available free to consumer use, as well as increasingly to the AI-powered answer engines. But what we're now in the process of doing is exploring partnerships where third parties can access the data that sits behind our marketplace to help make sure that there's a trusted source of truth on deposit offerings in an AI-powered world. My colleague Anna from our FI sales and success team is going to run through examples of some of the data and insights we're pulling out of that data set today to help FI partners, whether that's banks or credit unions, to compete for deposits. And we want to share this with you now so you can be thinking about how you might be able to partner with us to drive better solutions into your existing AI or new proprietary development.
Great, thanks, Josh. So right now, you guys are looking at CD Valet's website, but what I'm going to show you today are the data tools that we've built that sit behind our marketplace. On screen here, you see a summary of our marketplace, and all I want you to pay attention to is just how much data we've collected. You'll see that our marketplace is built from almost 5,000 financial institutions and over 37,000 individual CD rates. We track this data every single day, and that's what really allows us to have unique insights that no one else has. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 of the tools that we use to help financial institutions make smarter decisions. We'll go through the real CD yield curve, how rates are moving, and consumer behavior to understand where demand is. So on screen here, you're looking at our yield curve. And the reason I want to start here is because I work with our partner FIs every single day, and this is really what they ask us about the most. This graph is organized by term and by APY, and what you get is an accurate picture of where any given rate falls relative to the rest of the CD market. And just so you know, the CD market is a $3 trillion market, and to put that size into perspective, it's bigger than auto loans, student loans, and credit cards combined. In a market size that big, you would really expect it to be efficient, and you would expect a graph like this to be smooth, but instead we see a lot of variation. And that variation is what FIs need to pay attention to, because that's where they can separate the noise from the signal. The noise that I'm talking about right here, you notice some of these really high rates in the market, and while they're great rates, they often come with a lot of restrictions attached, multiple limitations like geo restrictions or variable components, so it's not always going to be relevant to the broader CD market. The same kind of goes for this bottom line here, because these are representing FIs that don't really have a real intention of doing business in this market. Where an FI needs to be paying attention to are these middle 2 lines, because that represents their true competitors in this market, and it's where they can start to identify some gaps to go out with a strong offer to win deposits. And I want to point out, too, that most CD investors are depositing in the millions. That's why our customers really care about knowing where these gaps are and finding these opportunities to use to their advantage. So moving over to how rates are trending, what we're looking at here is a graph that shows just how many rates have moved up over the past couple months. That's the top bar. And the bottom bar is showing how many rates have gone down over the past couple months. What we see from about the 4th of July to Labor Day is that there's been quite a bit of variation. While most rates are still trending down, we still see quite a few rates going up as well. But past Labor Day, rates are overwhelmingly trending downwards. And this is really important for FIs to pay attention to, because while there might be a lot of debate in the news about the decisions the Fed is making on interest rates, this is showing the real market actions, the real behaviors that bankers are making regarding their rates. And for FIs, this is crucial to pay attention to, because this is how they can build their strategy to go out and win deposits. And for regulators and analysts, these same insights provide early knowledge on financial conditions and how earnings may shift. So to move over to consumer behavior, remember what I just told you about how most rates are trending down, but we still saw some rates going up. What I'm going to show you now on consumer behavior will begin to explain why there's still some rates in the market going up right now. This graph is showing the products that consumers are currently most interested in. And what we see when conventional wisdom is strong that rates are going to be declining, like the period we're in right now, is that consumers tend to go out the curve because they want to lock in some longer-term rates before they potentially fall farther. But what we see a lot of FIs do is that they still tend to go out with a short-term, really aggressive CD offer, because that's what they're thinking is the right strategy at the moment. And if you look at this date range from about the 4th of July to just before Labor Day, we see that the 12-month term, which is commonly a very popular term amongst CDs, is under 20% popularity amongst consumers. And what we see past Labor Day to now is that it's jumped up to over 30% in popularity. What we've noticed is that the smart FIs have been using this data to their advantage to go out with a little bit of a longer term, match the consumers with what they're looking for, and they won't have to be overly aggressive because they're noticing these trends before their competitors do. Without this data, FIs are missing out on some huge opportunities to build a strategy to win deposits. So that was a quick tour of 3 of the tools that we've built to help FIs, how the market varies, how rates are moving, and how consumers are responding to those rate movements. And together, this data gives us a really clear picture of what's really happening in the CD market so that FIs can build a strong strategy to go out and win deposits.
So those are all insights that we were able to leverage from the data that sits behind our marketplace. It's all proprietary, and we're making that available to FIs, banks, and credit unions that partner with us to get access to that now. What we're interested in doing is now partnering with other providers that can leverage those insights. That could be making sure that from an AI answer engine standpoint, you know that a response to a consumer prompt is going to end up in accurate, real-time market data around offers, but also that can have important context in terms of relevance, requirements that might apply, or other factors that make that a good choice or a bad choice for that consumer. And for enterprise, we have the ability to give access to hard-to-find signals in the market, as Anna showed, in terms of where FIs are moving, and that also can be tracked back to the FI performance and other unique insights. We appreciate the chance to talk with you more about how we can work with you. Thanks.